Thanks for staying with us. Joining us is a woman with specialization in public administration, project management, real estate pre-licensing. She has served in various organizations in huge capacities as president, CEO, executive secretary, etc. Welcome, Khairat Animashaun Ajibwe.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So we are actually celebrating women who decide to get into politics, into leadership roles, because we want to support a lot of women with our platform, women who have decided to take up the mantle of leadership. And we're excited that you're one of those. And I hear that you want to contest for governorship of Lagos State, Mary.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam, why?
Yes, ma'am. I found out that, or we've observed over the years, that we've had our fathers, our brothers, our uncles take the mantle of leadership in Lagos. I want to be specific to Lagos.
Okay.
And we found out that they have tried, they've done their best, but we still have a lot of concerns, you know, about our state. And I feel that why not a woman? Why shouldn't a woman have, I mean, a woman, we're born the same. We have the same mental capacity. We have women who have been top of their classes, who have thrived in different sectors of the economy, who can bring their nurturing spirit, their nurturing nature as a mom, to change the dynamics of power play in Lagos. And then I said, I want to be the next governor of Lagos State. That's what, you know, informed my decision to come out. And I started this 10 years ago when I actually had that mindset, because we actually have to have a place where leaders are trained. We need to create that.
Okay.
Where leaders are cultured. To know that it's not enough for you to just be, to hold power. You also have to take responsibility, not just for your team or for the bourgeois or for the
party?
For the party, but for the people. The people that thread the streets, that walk the streets every day. They need to also feel the impact of governance. That does not mean that everybody must be in government, but at least let them see that the government of the day cares about their well-being.
Okay, so, you know, people have said with women, we like to give them a pass because they are women, so they just come and speak and we don't ask them the tough questions. So I want to ask you the tough question, and that is, you're running for governor of Lagos State. What do you think are the challenges right now? What do you think that administration, past and present administration, has not done, has refused to do, and how do you think you can, you know, you can make a difference? In what ways do you think you can make a difference, and what experiences do you think you have to bring to the table?
We had a Lagos of Mobolaji Johnson and all of the previous governors of Lagos State, where Lagos was calm and where you can move freely in Lagos, where the Lagos people accept everybody, you know, we were kind to everybody. We let everybody come take our houses and just come to Lagos. You know, we had that Lagos. Can we have that Lagos again, where we will not be afraid to step out of our doors, where we will not be afraid to say hello to the next door, to the next human moving down the streets? So it's not about it's not enough to be a youth, because I consider myself one.
You are. If you believe it, you are.
It's not enough to be a woman, nor a man, but it is best if you are that human who has humanity in you, who has integrity in you, to be able to make the difference. So I'm answering that question. It is not necessarily because I look like a woman. No. It is more because of what I am what I have been, what I have done, and how consistent I have been in my attitudes, regardless of where I find myself. I am someone who will be able to bridge the gap between the very rich and the very poor.
Why? How?
Because I have been there, done that. Because I graduated from Lagos State University. And when I was in Lagos State University, I was also I became the first female Secretary General of the Student Union government. And I have done that in so many organizations. I was also the first female Secretary of Eco Club International, USA, London, Canada. And I was able to achieve feats that were not achieved before. Same thing when I was in LASO, same thing when I was in Elaro. I'm saying this to say that I have had the same tendencies in me of being consistent, of trying to do right, regardless of where I find myself. And based on that, we want people that will come to governance and be consistent, understand the situation, analyze the situation, come to good conclusions with their team to ensure that everybody gets some level of deliverance of governance in a good way. So it has really nothing has to do. It really has nothing to do with the muscles. You know,
the heart and the head.
The heart and the head and the ability to appreciate every level. Because I saw a new Lagos when I walked around the streets of Lagos. I actually consciously took a keke napep around my community in Amuodofin yesterday, and I was glad I did that because I was able to appreciate what is actually on the streets. And I saw that in Surulere, where I was a couple of days ago, I saw that we have a lot of destitutes on the streets. If we continue with this pattern and the ruling class does not do something, do something about it, it's going to become a bad omen for us as a whole. For us all.
I must say that I share that fear. I constantly worry about it, and the fact that it's not being attended to is with the seriousness it should be, because of what it can bring. I live in Amuodofin. Okay. And I can tell you for a fact that I've experienced already what it can bring. My question here is, Lagos is a peculiar area. It has its own dynamics. It has its own politics, and it has its history being debated by other tribes. So if you were running for governor in Anambra, you had to be Newi, something. If you're in Imo, you're in Bise, you cannot be Lagos in there. But in Lagos, you can be anybody. Yeah. Because it's a cosmopolitan. We hear a lot of English excuses making it different. So you are running for governorship in Lagos. These dynamics will affect you. I've seen your profile, you're Awori, you know, Lagos Island and all of that. How would you play that game here? One. Two, the problem of Lagos is not a problem of just, when people come out here and they say that I know how to bridge the gap between the poor and the rich. I'm a people's person. When you look at the people's person part, because they do giveaways, share rice, monthly, and all of that. In Ramadan, they come, their politicians, at their house, you see a crowd.
People coming to eat.
And so that's how they're a people's person. How do you want to be a people's person the way that I expect? I don't want to say what I expect of you, but I want to hear what you
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nima. I was with a father of mine yesterday, actually to break bread, Ramadan. And my father was saying, I have a lot of fathers. And he was telling me the level of poverty and the reason why there has to be bags of rice, there has to be this, there has to be that, to help the widows, to help everybody. That, do you see their faces when they are given money? And they said, Daddy, we're not saying that we do not appreciate that, but we're saying that for how long would we continue to give handouts?
True.
Can we provide jobs? These women need real jobs to take care of their kids, of their family, of their households. For how long are we going to make our people beg? So if we're looking for structures, we want to create structures, enabling environment whereby people can actually thrive. It is not enough to just survive every 4 years. You give them 10,000, 20,000 and a bag of rice now.
Not even enough.
Is that going to serve them for 4 years? I was going back and forth with Danny, and he said, do you have a billion? And I said, Daddy, we do not have to do that. Let us talk to our leaders. You, our fathers, you need to start changing mindsets. Our royal fathers are even scared to, for their subjects to come to them.
Wow. Because
of the poverty and the penury level. What do we do? So we need to bring solution, bring orientations around solutions for all of these problems that we see. So what do we want to create? One thing I have to tell you, though, is this. I and my team, we are very keen about how the attitude of our people. It is not just about the ruling class. It is not just about the politicians. Every one of us have responsibilities that we have to uplift for us to be better, for our state, our country to be better. Because you find that the attitude that the elderly have, that all of the other people, are the same attitude that our children and our younger ones possess. That's what the same attitude that they have.
Everybody has the same.
How do we try to start changing this narrative?
Yeah, it starts from the place of influence.
Yes,
leadership influence the cultures.
Yeah.
Culture of materialism, all of that.
The reason why we have to have people of like minds in governance, people who believe that, okay, guys, let's take a step back. The oligarchy and the power people, you want to take care of you. But why don't you also let us give a fraction of this patrimony of ours to the people? Let us create jobs. Coming in today, like I said earlier, I saw a lot of young boys, potential, powerful guys that can drive the infrastructural level of this country, of this state. They can drive the technological advancements of this state. I could see their eyes. These are young boys that are keen, that are waiting, hungry to be taught. So we can do that. We can provide facilities that can train these young boys in different areas. Where we now go politic and beg the government and say, a John Tory alone. We need funding for this. Where can we generate more funding for this? And we have the capability, we have the populace to do that.
Let me quickly ask you this question. So I know that when it comes to elections and politicians, there's always promises flying up and down. And if you do not give us something specific, we will not have something to hold you accountable to. So for the sake of being specific, what are some of the solutions, some of the problems that you have highlighted, the solutions you want to give to solve that problem, so that if you become successful tomorrow, you can say, Madam, you say you were going to do A versus B. We have not seen it. See what we're doing to the president right now. Well, we have seen it. He mentioned corruption. He mentioned insecurity. Till today, we have not seen it. So we can hold it. What are some of those specific solutions you want to bring in when you get into power?
Okay. One of our mantras is this. Our major mantra is dare to be unconventional. Okay. Right? When we want to hold public offices to anything, we want to listen to their, I'm going to give you free food, I'm going to give you free education, I'm going to give you, that is what we always ask them. But can we be a little bit more pragmatic? Can we find a way out of this? Such that it will not be the same repertoire of conversations every year, year in, year out. So let us find a way, ask me questions as to there are issues of this, what kind of solutions can we prefer? Maybe it is better. Maybe we can start changing that mindset as media men and media giants. So that way it will be easier to actually make our people be more solution-oriented in terms of how they want to solve our problems. Yeah. So what I'm saying in essence is this. We have problems of unemployment. Unemployment situations. In fact, fundamentally, we have power problems.
Major.
Now we're talking.
I understand that there are issues that the federal government has signed and that has done some things. I don't know what the legal terms are. But I'm looking for a situation whereby we can romance the federal government. And I'm being sincere now. To see how we can generate more power in Lagos State. Because if there's power, even if it is not 100% as at right now, we can put a plan together, a policy statement together, to say we expect this to... I know there are a lot of giants in that industry that may not want this to thrive. So that is why governance is not just about coming to say, I'm going to do this in 4 years, I'm going to do that. Because you have to do a lot of research.
Let me quickly come into what your structure to get into governance is. So we know how politics play here. And they say structure, how do you want to make your numbers? In Amuodofi, for instance, where that's your place of birth, how would you say your influence is? What's your party like in terms of structure? How are your unit and area meetings? What are they? What does it?
It's growing. It's coming up. And I'm going to say this because I've said it in a couple of platforms. This is where I grew up. I was not born in Amuodofi. I was born in Lagos Island. I'm from Lagos Island originally. Yes. And when I came in, I see a lot of my young, brothers, sisters. Auntie, I've known you for years, 25 years. I'm like, you guys are so big now. I wouldn't even recognize you. And I said, what are you all doing now? A lot of them are maybe jobless right now. And I'm thinking, I'm cracking my brains, and I'm saying, let's have a meeting. What can we do? Do you know you guys can do this? When I saw the community, how dirty it was, I said, we can actually create a day or two. The government does not have to do everything for us. So this is where structures build. The government doesn't have to do everything for us. Let us come out and clean. We can put this on YouTube. We can put it on social media, let everybody know that we are taking responsibility.
For our lives.
For our lives, for our future, for our health. For our mothers and fathers that are still there, that's been there for 50, 40 years. And they agree with me. I said, we have to find a day to do it. So this is where structures grow. And then when you go to meet a lot of, there's one thing I want to say, and I'm very serious, and I don't mean to be rude, is that our elders in our communities should not always expect the political leaders to support them through handouts. So that the political leaders can actually go down the line to do what they're supposed to do. So what I'm saying now is that we want to take governance to the people. The 3 tiers of government, we want to see how we can create directorates. Like in the I stay in Atlanta, Georgia, and I come in and out. I know that we have the local government, which is the umbrella one, and then we have cities. So in having cities, they have their budgets. So they're able to cascade down developments to, closer to the people.
The grassroots.
So if we are able to do stuff like that, do things like that for our people, it will be easier. Then we can, if the power situation can get a little bit better, which I believe it will be, depending on who's negotiating. If you're negotiating and you're not asking for anything, you're negotiating for the true interest of the people. And people can see through you that you're sincere. They would want to listen. Our fathers are not dumb. They're not stupid. They know what the right things are. And they can see through us when we do what is right. So if we're able to do that, we can now create these hubs, these job hubs for infrastructural development and engage our youth positively. Because they need to be, they need to be engaged positively.
Or else.
Yeah.
Or else.
So there's this other thing in Lagos State. Next, when you talk about Lagos State, you talk about traffic. You talk about the port, you talk about the bad roads. And, we've had, I think, 2 governors even struggle. They make promises and we see how it falls apart. In what way do you think you can make a difference? Because, a lot of the blame is put on the federal government because federal government owns those facilities. How would you handle it differently?
By profession, I am actually first a town planner.
Okay.
I did town planning in Lilaro. I did town planning in Lagos State University. So we look at things holistically and plan cities, plans. Planning is all encompassing when it comes to city planning or town planning or whatever you want to call it. So I'm saying this to say that we have a lot of drainage issues in the States.
Yeah, true.
And I'm going back to the same thing that I talked about our attitudes. Coming here, my driver threw a Tom-Tom plastic and threw it out the window. And I said, oh God, that's what you do now, no good. Don't do that again. We are trying to change our mindsets. When you take pure water nylon, you throw it in a drain. Everything you have, you throw it in the drain. Your trash from your house, you throw it in the drain. How does that help government to continue with the policies that they put in place? You understand? So there are a lot of things that we have to do, but we have to actually see what is on ground. Where do we want to go? What is the reality on ground? What is in government right now? Because I know a lot of the civil servants are working very hard, tirelessly to make things happen. They may have their own challenges. So we need to be able to understand what the challenges are. But one thing that I can tell you is this. We will bring responsibility to governors. And we'll make sure that everybody takes their own fair share of responsibility in a nice way. But let us all be responsible for what it is that we want to see.
Okay, ma, because of time, let me ask you this final question.
Thank you.
I believe that everybody who wants to get into politics in their head or want to solve a problem. Well, the way politics is played, especially in this country, you find yourself there and you are stifled. Have you thought about how you can manage people who will want to sabotage your good plans? Do you have any mechanisms? Do you have a godfather who would have your back? Because we still operate on politics of godfatherism. What are your plans?
Thank you very much. I've actually talked about a couple of them. But what I want to say is this. A good heart can go a long way. Even though they say, Nigeria, this is Nigeria, don't say that. When I was in the US, I came back to Nigeria and did politics and all of that, and I rose to the national level of politics. And then when I left, a resolution was passed in my name by the House in Georgia. When I read it, I cried because I was like, oh, I didn't know they could see through me. So I'm saying this to say that when your intentions are good, when you have good plans, you're going to campaign to everybody. Tell everybody the good, the bad, and the ugly. That if the ugly say, please, if you mess up this plan, this is how it will affect you.
The future.
Not even in the future, in the present. Right. We're going to have to come up with rules and regulations. Because that's what we're even talking. I see a lot of in the news now, people talking about indiscipline, where we have to come up with, you know, the reasons why we have to let people know that it is wrong. You were talking about punishing kids, so that kids can know that this is wrong. If they don't know it is wrong, it happened to my son, and he said something, used a bad word in school, and he says, and the teacher went on him, and he started crying. I said, why would you say that? That's the wrong way to, but mommy, I didn't know it was a bad word.
Oh my God.
So I'm saying it to say that you have a role to play, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, thank you.
You have a role to play. Everybody has a role to play. We have to take the campaign to the grassroots. So I'm a wash chocolate, I'm a jumper. We get into the grassroots and let the people know this is right, this is wrong. Let us try to make a difference. Thank you.